and nothing hurt you. But she failed to realize. I sat there and I thought for a while about that. And then I come up with the Messiah, the apostles, Peter, and Paul, and the whole nation of Israel, how these people were hurt. They had God on their side, but yet and still they were hurt. And even this day, there's a certain amount of suffering that we have to do in order to maintain our soul. See, you can't serve the true and living God and live in luxury all your life. You must suffer in order to make you do what? Cleave to the Lord your God. Because if we don't cleave to the Lord our God, then what we end up doing is thinking that we God. And that means that we're going to do anything that we want to do. But see, Yahweh has not left us alone. And he never will leave us alone because of things that he said out of his own mouth. I remember once I read some things. Tell you what you do, Brother Steve. Why don't you read Psalms, just a minute. Read Psalms 19. Read Psalms 19. You know, brother told me once that if you don't speak the Hebrew language, man, you lose something. We're going to see. Read Psalms 19.
Psalms 19.
I told that brother, I said, brother, I've forgotten more than you're going to learn. Psalms 19. Pick that up at verse 1. But see, that's youth in action. They think they got a handle on the whole world. But see, that's why it always said, ask your elders, and they will show you. It didn't say go to ask the young folk. We had a situation that came up in our land where when King Solomon died, because his son Rehoboam wouldn't listen to the elders, you see what happened? The kingdom was divided, and a divided house would not stand. They started that mess. Read Psalms 19 for me, Brother Steve.
Verse 1. The heavens declare the glory of Elohim, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge.
It says the heavens declare the glory of Elohim, and the firmament shows his handiwork. So what you supposed to do? Day unto day utter speech, and night unto night show us knowledge, right? All these things show us knowledge, so that we can depart this knowledge to those of the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And when people get to talking to you about speaking the Hebrew language so you can learn more, verse 3 said, there's no speech, nor language, where their voice is not heard.
Hallelujah. Don't make it like that.
He said, I'm going to turn to the people of pure language. Go ahead and read, brother.
Psalms chapter 19, verse 4. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world.
He told his apostles, he told his followers, say, go into the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He that has an ear, let him hear. My sheep know me, they hear my voice. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. In them he set a tabernacle for the sun.
The sun, Satan is the angel of the sun now, the light bearer, right? He said, but in them has he set a tabernacle for the sun, a tabernacle for light for men. This is why he told Moses, say, you shall be a kingdom of priests unto me. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 5. Which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoices as a strong man to run a race.
Praise Yah.
His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. The law of Yahweh is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of Yahweh is sure, making wise the simple.
And except you be converted, except your soul be converted, then how would you ever hear the law of Yahweh? And if you don't hear the law of Yahweh, see what's happened to us so far, don't you? Okay. Go ahead and read, brother.
Psalms chapter 19, verse 8. The statutes of Yahweh, verse 7. The law of Yahweh is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of Yahweh is sure, making wise the simple.
Now, how do you convert the soul? Change your nature. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 8. The statutes of Yahweh are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of Yahweh is pure, enlightening the eyes.
Praise Yah.
The fear of Yahweh is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of Yahweh are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold. Yes, than much fine gold. Sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. Moreover, by them is your servant warned, and in keeping of them there is great reward.
And our Creator knew that. That's why, under the new order things, he said, I'm going to write my law in your heart. And in your mind will I write them. And I'll be to you a God, and you shall be to me a people. You know what folks say? Well, he's going to write it in your heart, but you don't have to keep it.
Right.
When has God done anything foolish? Right. The foolishness of God is wiser than men. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 12. Who can understand his errors? Cleanse thou me from secret faults.
Now, that's something we all need. Not only do we need dressing up from the things that we know that we're getting off into this unrighteousness. What it is this. We have secret faults that we don't even know of, and these are the things that we have to be cleaned up from. Because the secret faults come from the subconscious mind. So he has to do what? Bring that subconscious mind to your consciousness, doesn't he? Okay. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 13. Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me. Then shall I be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgression.
If you protect me, see, if you teach me, if you lead and guide me, then I shall be innocent from the great transgression. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 14. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Yahweh, my strength and my redeemer.
Amen and amen. As we wander through our tenure upon Yahweh's earth, many things have been told to us by the sons of men. However, when the Spirit calls you to your destiny, the truth concerning the mysteries in the words and works of the Creator of all things began to be revealed. And some began to realize their purpose and their station, and the station, of your creation. Surely all the powers that be were put in place for the service of man. The one to give man faith, and the other to try man's ways. Ain't that what happened to Job? Just as Yahweh created all things, he also prescribed the rules. He picked the chief players in their positions. And the conclusion of all of his works among the flesh and among the spirits that are here on earth and in heaven, even the good and evil, both good and evil. Man was created in Elohim's image and likeness because he was the Almighty's representative on the earth in the war between the forces of good and evil. Adam was the son of God. But due to man's fall, the first kingdom was taken by evil angels who left their first estate. Yet a remnant was saved from the devastation of the mighty flood, the remnant that would bring forth the chosen seed of Yahweh's will. But Brother Steve, read the office of the church, and then let's go and allow our fathers to instruct us in the way that we should go.
I'm going to read the oracles of the church beginning at 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves. For love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man have received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim.
Amen.
If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim giveth, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua HaMashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed unto the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim, for the anointed one's sake, have forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim as dear children, and walk in love, as the anointed one also have loved us, and have given himself us an offering and a sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness of covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becometh saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks.
Amen.
Revelation chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame, and am set down with my Father in his throne. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the church.
Amen. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the church and Holy Convention. Now I'm going to sing a song of love to you, my love, my well-beloved, as touching his vineyard. I'd like to start our class today in the book of Genesis, Genesis 46. Pick that up at verse 1, my brother. Genesis chapter 46 and verse 1. Now we know that Yahweh had called Abraham. He preserved the seed through the flood. And out of Shem came Abraham. Out of Abraham came Isaac. Out of Isaac came Jacob. And out of Jacob came the 12 tribes. And Yahweh made covenants with all of those people, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Genesis 46, and pick that up at verse 1.
Yes, sir. And Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices unto the Elohim of his father Esau. Mm-hmm. And Elohim spoke unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Yaakov, Yaakov. And he said, Here am I. And he said, I am God, the Elohim of your father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of you a great nation. I will go down with you into Egypt, and I will also surely bring you up again, and your step shall put his hand upon your eyes. And Yaakov rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Yaakov their father, and their little ones, and their wives, in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods, which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Yaakov and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt.
Okay, my brother, I don't want to go no further than that. Now, we know what happened. We read the story. Our people went down in Egypt, and they stayed down there 430 years. And at the end of that 430 years, let's go and see what happened. Let's go into Exodus 3, and let's read verse 1 through verse 8. Exodus chapter 3, and verse 1 through verse 8. And he told Jacob, now, I'm going down in Egypt with you. And when I get down there, when you get down there, I'm going to make you a great nation. We know So when our fathers came out of Egypt, it was 500,000 men. That didn't even include women and children. So you know it was a multitude of our people that came up out of Egypt, wasn't it? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Exodus chapter 3, verse 1. Now Moshe kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of Elohim, even to Horeb. And the angel of Yahweh appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And Moshe looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moshe said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burned.
I want to find out why this bush ain't burning. I'm going to go look at this great sight. But he had a surprise coming to you. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 4. And when Yahweh saw that he turned aside to see, Elohim called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moshe, Moshe. He said, Here am I.
When each one of us turn aside to hear the word of God, what does he do? He began to write his law and his words in your heart and your mind, right? He began to raise you up. He began to warn you of wickedness so that you can be what? His salvation to mankind. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 5. And he said, Draw not near hither, put off your shoes from off your feet, for the place whereon you stand is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the Elohim of your father, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob. And Moshe hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Elohim. And Yahweh said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows.
Don't you think you know your sorrows today? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 8. And I am come down to deliver them out of the land of Egypt, out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land unto a good land and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites.
Go ahead, brother. Read that next verse.
Yes, sir, verse 9. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed.
They didn't even know God. They call him the God of my fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right. But you see what it says? I've heard their cry. And I have done what? Come down to deliver them. See? He told, the angel of the Lord told Jacob, go down in Egypt, I'm going to be with you. And when he got down there, the angel of the Lord, the mighty angel that stands up for the children of Israel, came down and said, what? I'm come down to deliver my children, my people, out of the hand of these Egyptians, right? Luke 3 and verse 31 through verse 38. Luke 3 and verse 31 through verse 38. Let's go pick up this lineage here. I'm not going to read all of that. A whole lot of names. I know my brother can pronounce them, but I don't think all that's necessary. Yeah, so let's pick that up at verse 31, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Now, what he's doing, he's giving the lineage of, I think Luke is the lineage of Mary, and the other one is the lineage of Joseph, I think. Yeah. No, this is the genealogy of Joseph right here. The other one that they give in the New Testament of Mary. But pick this up at Joseph's lineage at verse 31.
Yes, sir. Which was the son of Belial, which was the son of Menan, which was the son of Mattatha, which was the son of Nathan, which was the son of David, which was the son of Jesse, which was the son of Obed, which was the son of Boaz, which was the son of Salmon, which was the son of Naasson, which was the son of Amminadab, which was the son of Aram, which was the son of Esron, which was the son of Pharez, which was the son of Yehuda, which was the son of Jacob, which was the son of Esau, which was the son of Abraham, which was the son of Terah, which was the son of Nahor, which was the son of Seruk, which was the son of Paguel, which was the son of Phalak, which was the son of Heber, which was the son of Selah, which was the son of Canaan, which was the son of Arphaxad, which was the son of Shem, which was the son of Noah, which was the son of Melech, which was the son of Methuselah, which was the son of Enoch, which was the son of Jared, which was the son of Maleel, which was the son of Canaan, which was the son of Enos, which was the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of Elohim.
The lineage went right back up to God, didn't it? Right back up to God himself. And our lineage ain't no Europeans, no Africans, no none of them other folks that was mentioned in here. It was only the lineage of the passage of the Holy Seed, right? Yahweh has always been among the people in the lineage of our fathers, the 12 tribes of Israel. And nobody can deny that. But today, we hear, God has cast y'all off and gets to us. But if he did, look what y'all done with it. Exodus 23, and read verse 20 through verse 23, my brother. Exodus 23, and verse 20 through verse 23. Excuse me. Pick that up. I tell you what, my brother, why don't you pick that up at verse 19. Now, what had happened was Yahweh had told the people, Moses, say, you tell the people to, wash their clothes and don't come at the wives for 3 days, right? And then when y'all hear the trumpet, then y'all come up here and I want to talk to y'all. See? Everybody want to talk to God, right? You always hear folks talking about, well, I talked to the Lord last night. He told me when Yahweh spoke, mountains moved. Yes, sir. When Yahweh spoke, black folks' knees knocked together. Right. Yeah. They got scared and did foolish things and got themselves killed off. Why? Because of his great voice. Go ahead and read, brother. Pick this up.
Baal, the Lord. That's who they're speaking to.
Of course. Speaking to Jesus Christ. Yeah. Pick this up to verse 19, my brother.
Exodus 23, verse 19.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Exodus. Wait a minute. I'm in the wrong chapter. I may not never find it over there, huh? Okay. Let me see. No. Pick this up at Exodus, Exodus 20 and verse 19.
And they said unto Moshe, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die.
Moses said, have any people ever heard the voice of the God and lived? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 20. And Moshe said unto the people, fear not, for Elohim is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that you sin not.
That's the same thing he called us for, to prove us, that his fear be before our face, that we sin not. That's the reason why he's writing his law and his words in your heart and your mind, right? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 21. And the people stood afar off, and Moshe drew near unto the thick darkness where Elohim was. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, thus you shall say unto the children of Israel, you have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. You shall not make with me Elohims of silver, neither shall you make unto you Elohims of gold.
Okay, my brother. Now let's go into 23 and pick that up to verse 19. Verse 20. I'm sorry, verse 20. Pick that up to verse 20.
Exodus chapter 23, verse 20. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way and to bring you into the place which I have prepared.
Ain't that the same thing he's doing to us? Yes, he has given his angels charge over you to keep you in the way, and you shall not be moved unless you break God's law. See? There's nothing new under the sun. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 21. Beware of him, and obey his voice, provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions. For my name is in him.
And that's the reason why we suffer so much, because the angels, Lord, they don't like you no way.
Right.
And they ain't going to pardon your transgression. Here they are, men of power, beings of power, and they got to watch over somebody that's wishy-washy, that's just as double-minded as they can be. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 22. But if you shall indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto your enemies and an adversary unto your adversaries.
Amen.
For mine angels shall go before you and bring you in unto the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites, the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off.
Okay, my brother, I don't want to go from no further than that. Now let's go back into Psalms 91 and pick that up at verse 1 through verse 16. When you get all these little pieces of scripture read, I think you'll get an idea where I'm going with this. Psalms chapter 91, and pick that up at verse 1 through verse 16.
Verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of Yahweh, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings shall you trust. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
Now he's talking about the wrath of the Lord coming upon the earth, right? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 7. 8,000 shall fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand. But it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because you have made Yahweh, which is my refuge, even the Most High, your habitation, there shall no evil befall you, neither shall any plague come near your dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways.
Amen.
They shall bear you up in their hands, lest you dash your foot against the stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the adder. The young lion and the dragon shall you trample under feet. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name.
Praise Yah.
He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation.
Amen. Hebrews 12 and verse 18 through chapter 13 and verse 2. Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 18 through chapter 13 and verse 2. Hebrews chapter 12, and pick that up at verse 18.
Yes, sir. For you are not come unto the mount that might be touched, and that burn with fire, nor unto blackness and darkness and tempest, and the sound of a trumpet, and the voice of words, which voice they that heard entreated that the word should not be spoken to them any more. For they could not endure that which was commanded. And if so much as a beast touch the mountain, it shall be stoned all thrust through with a dart. And so terrible was the sight that Moshe said, I exceedingly fear and quake.
Now, you ain't coming to all these natural things, right? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 22. But you are come unto Mount Sion, and unto the city of the living Elohim, the heavenly Jerusalem, and to an innumerable company of angels, to the general assembly and church of the firstborn, which are written in heaven, and to Elohim, the judge of all, and to the spirits of just men made perfect.
Now understand now, he's talking to the Hebrews. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 24. And to Yahshua, the mediator of the new covenant, and to the blood of sprinkling that speaketh better things than that of Abel. See that you refuse not him that speaketh, for if they escape not who refuse him that spoke on earth, much more shall not we escape if we turn away from him that speaketh from heaven, whose voice then shook the earth. But now he hath promised, saying, Yet once more I shake not the earth only, but also heaven.
Right, I ain't going to have all this destruction and everything around you, right? He said, I'm not going to just shake the earth. I'm going to shake the earth, and I'm going to roll the heavens back like a scroll, and all the hosts going to fall down. Why? Because it's time for redemption. It's payback time. The world is going to, the nation's going to have to cash that check, and they can't cash it. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 27. Yet once more signifies, verse 27, I'm sorry. And this word, yet once more, signifies the removing of those things that are shaken, as of things that are made, that those things which cannot be shaken may remain.
The spiritual things may remain, right? The natural man dies. But things being set up now, once he shakes the heaven and the earth, then things will be set up so that the things that remain will be spiritual things. The main thing that's going to remain throughout eternity. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 28. Wherefore we receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved, let us have grace whereby we may serve Yah acceptably with reverence and godly fear.
Read that again, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 28. Wherefore we receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved, let us have grace whereby we may serve Yah acceptably with reverence and godly fear. For our God is a consuming fire.
Amen and amen. Throughout biblical history, angels have ministered to those who were the objects of Yah's affection and servant heirs of salvation. Now, the salvation of our fathers was what? Was being redeemed out of bondage and settled in the land of promise and covenants to our father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? All these things were brought about under the guidance of holy angels. Angels who wage war against the forces of evil from the garden through the wilderness of purging and the setting of our people in the promised land as Yahweh's servants upon the earth. But they couldn't endure that. You know why? He gave them the desires of their heart. And they didn't know what to do with it. Ezekiel 16 in verse 1 through verse 15.
You want me to read these two more verses there?
You can if you want to.
Okay, Hebrews chapter 13, verse 1. Let brotherly love continue. Amen. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, but thereby some have entertained angels unaware.
Amen. Didn't know nothing about it. Thought you were just talking to another lousy brother. Ezekiel 16 in verse 1 through verse 15. Ezekiel 16 in verse 1 through verse 15.
Verse 1. Again, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, call Jerusalem to know her abominations, and say, Thus saith Adonai Elohim unto Jerusalem, Your birth and your nativity is of the land of Canaan. Your father was an Amorite, and your mother a Hittite.
Now, he's not talking to Israel now.
Right.
See, he said, again the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, cause Jerusalem to know her abominations, right? Wasn't it the Jebusite city when we went into the land?
Yes, sir.
Well, her father was an Amorite, and her mother was a Hittite, then, wasn't it? Go ahead, brother. See, a lot of brothers get that bent out of shape, think he was talking about Israel. Right. Israel didn't come out of Ham.
Right.
Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 4. And as for your nativity, in the day you were born, your neighbor was not cut, neither were you washed in water to supple you. You were not salted at all, nor slaughtered at all.
Right. You were nothing but another man out there wandering around on earth. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 5. None I pitied you to do any of these unto you, to have compassion upon you. But you were cast out in the open field to the loathing of your person in the day that you were born. And when I passed by you and saw you polluted in your own blood, I said unto you when you were in your blood, Live, Yes, I said unto you when you were in your blood, live.
When you was a natural soul, a natural man, I told you, I came to you and say, live. See, I pull you up out of this, right? I raised you up under the apple tree. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 7. I have caused you to multiply as the bud of the field, and you have increased and waxen great, and you are come to excellent ornament. Your breasts are fashioned, and your hair is grown, whereas you were naked and bare. Now when I passed by you and looked upon you, behold, your time was the time of love. And I spread my skirt over you and covered your nakedness. Yes, I swear unto you and entered into a covenant with you, says Adonai Elohim, and you became mine. Then washed I you with water. Yes, I thoroughly washed away your blood from you, and I anointed you with oil. I clothed you also with embroidered work, and shod you with badger skin, and I girded you about with fine linen, and I covered you with silk. I decked you also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon your hands, and a chain on your neck.
And you know what some folks say? Man, I worked for this stuff here myself. I'm the one that toiled and slaved for this, right? But who woke you up this morning? One brother told me my alarm clock woke me up. Yeah, okay, brother. And everything you got on your own. You're absolutely right. Yahweh wasn't in that at all. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 12. And I put a jewel on your forehead, and earrings in your ears, and a beautiful crown upon your head. Thus were you decked with gold and silver, and your raiment was of fine linen and silk and embroidered work. You did eat fine flour and honey and oil, and you were exceeding beautiful, and you did prosper into a kingdom. And your renown went forth among the heathen for your beauty. For it was perfect through my comeliness, which I had put upon you, saith Adonai Elohim. But you did trust in your own beauty, and played the harlot because of your renown, and poured out your fornication on everyone that passed by. His it was. That was it.
Okay, my brother. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 1 through 31 and verse 40. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 1 through 31 and verse 40. These folks talking about what Yahweh has done with them and what he done gave up for them and so forth and so on. All these Euro Gentiles, that's all you see on TV nowadays, are the masses of them talking about what Yahweh has done, and then you turn around and listen to our brothers, and they telling you what white folks taught them. Jeremiah chapter 30, and pick this up at verse 1.
Yes, sir. The word that came to Yahweh from Yahweh, saying, Thus speaketh Yahweh Elohim of Israel, saying, Write you all the words that I have spoken unto you in a book.
Ain't we got in the book called Jeremiah? Huh? And if you want another book on it, go and pick up Baruch. Baruch was Jeremiah's scribe. And they got in the lot, in the bookstore. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 3. For lo, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Yehudah, says Yahweh, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. And these are the words that Yahweh spoke concerning Israel and concerning Yehudah. But thus says Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask you now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Why do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness? Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
Not all the nations. Jacob is going to be saved out of it. He said, I'm going to bring all of you out of your captivity. See? But I'm going to purge out 2/3 of them. Go ahead, brother. Why? Because that 2/3 is not going to want to obey the voice of Yahweh's servants that he's raising up and going to have out there in that wilderness to teach them the way that they should go. Every man want to be his own God. Every man want to do what he want to do. It don't work like that. Go ahead, brother.
Down to less gain, less pain. Huh?
Right.
Get rid of that gain to be less pain. Huh?
Yes, sir, brother. Once we do that, we have peace. Same thing happened in the church. Cast out the scorner and contention ceased. Then when I tell somebody, don't you come back here no more. I send one of them brothers, so you go tell so-and-so over there, I say, don't you come back here no more. Then folks got rocks in their jaws. I wasn't here, but I heard what was said, and I feel, and I think, well, the word says such and such and such a thing. I feel, and I think, right. Don't read, brother.
Yes, sir. Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 8. For it shall come to pass in that day, says Yahweh of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off your neck, and will burst your bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. But they shall serve Yahweh their Elohim, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore fear you not, O my servant Yaakov, says Yahweh, neither be dismayed, O Israel. For lo, I will save you from afar, and your seed from the land of their captivity, and Yaakov shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid.
Now, David had already been dead many years when he told Jeremiah to say this here. Jeremiah came many years. Jeremiah came before the Babylonian captivity. Go ahead, brother. As a matter of fact, he was in the Babylonian captivity. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 11. For I am with you, says Yahweh, to save you. Though I make a full end of all nations whither I have scattered you, yet will I not make a full end of you. But I will correct you in measure, and will not leave you altogether unpunished. But thus says Yahweh, your bruise is incurable, and your wound is grievous. There is none to plead your cause, that you may be bound up. You have no healing medicine. All your lovers have forgotten you. They seek you not. For I have wounded you with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of your iniquity, because your sins were increased. Why criest thou for thine affliction? Your sorrow is incurable for the multitude of your iniquity, because your sins were increased. I have done these things unto you.
Right, we sin, we get away with it. Then pretty soon, here come another one, we get away with that. No chastisement seems good, but it's grievous. You know why? You know it's coming. See? You know it's coming, and you don't know where you stand with your Creator at that time. That's why it's grievous. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all your adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity.
Now, okay, let's go back. Who all had hand in slave trade? All they that devour, not part of them, all they that devoured you shall be devoured. It don't make no difference whether Slick Willie apologized to our people or not. See? It don't make any difference. Black folks walk around here talking about, we want reparations. We want reparations. They can give us all $1 million apiece, and next week we all be worse off than we were the week before. And we know it. You know why? We spent it all back with Mike.
Right back to it.
Go on and read, brother.
Yes, sir. You see that big thing they had last night with Slick Willie? Big stars.
And I ain't even watched that jump.
Yeah. I looked at it for a minute. I said, boy, they love Pharaoh.
I didn't even watch that jump. I watched World War II last night. Calling me, talking about, man, they're having a thing for the president. I said, yeah, right. Are you watching it? No, I ain't watching it, brother. I'm watching them submarines and ships and stuff in World War II. Man, I don't want to be bothered with that stuff because I know what that's all about. Go on and read, brother. Yes, what did Slick really do for us? For all them years, them 8 years, he made it seem like he was going to do so much, right? What did you do? They ended up throwing away boats that we had cast, didn't we? Huh? Right. And I still didn't get my 40 acres on the mule.
Brother, I had a European on the job something told me, he said, man, Clinton built more jails for your people than Reagan.
He certainly did.
Bush, all the presidents up there. He locked up Negroes from one end of the United States to the other.
Of course. And it was over 150,000 black women that lost their jobs in the last year. They did the men before, right? Now they messing with the women, right? They're already profiling our children in school, right? We on the way out. We can say what we want to say. We can believe what we want to believe. We can believe that we're going to go ahead and we're going to wax fat and live the American dream. Believe if you want to. But what you going to do when they take this cash out of the system? And your number keep being rejected. Don't read, brother.
Yes, sir. Yirmiyahu chapter 30, verse 16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all your adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil you shall be spoiled, and all that prey upon you will I give for a prey.
Right. And he told you, said, I'm going to take the house of Judah, and I'm going to scatter them to the four corners of the earth, right? And Judah's going to run this earth in peace and righteousness and in prosperity. He said, unto you shall it come, even the first dominion. The kingdom shall come into the house of Judah, right? Wasn't David a Judite? Ain't he going to be a Davidic kingdom? Wasn't the Messiah the son of David? Case closed. Don't read, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 17.
Now, look at the way we've been treated since 606 BC. Look at the way that we've been treated. Do you think the nations think that they're going to have some jollies? Huh? Do you think that they're going to live happily ever after they show us on the TV, the movies they put out? They're going to suffer for this. But it's going to be the best suffering they ever did. They're going to go into captivity under us for 1,000 years, right? And then they're going to be among us forever and ever. As what? As servants. They ain't going to never stop being servants. Like Scripture says, whosoever touch you, touch the apple of my eye. I'm going to repay it. Because you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, whoever devour you is going to be devoured. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. It's just that simple. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Yirmiyahu chapter 30, verse 17. For I will restore health unto you, and I will heal you of your wounds, says Yahweh, because they call you an outcast, saying, this is Zion whom no man seeketh after.
He said, look here now. For I will restore health unto you, and I will heal you of your wounds. Why? Because they say this is Zion, a lawless, self-willed, shiftless people. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 18. Thus says Yahweh, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Yaakov's tent, and have mercy on his dwelling places, and the city shall be builded upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. And out of them shall proceed thanksgiving, and the voice of them that make merry. And I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. I will also glorify them, and they shall not be small. Their children also shall be as aforetime, and their congregation shall be established before me, and I will punish all that oppress them. And their nobles shall be of themselves, and their governor shall proceed from the midst of them, and I will cause him to draw near, and he shall approach unto me. For who is this that engages hard to approach unto me, says Yahweh.
And this is not going to be a democracy now, where you have the opportunity to go and vote who your ruler is going to be. Your ruler's already been set up. They've already been written in the Lamb's Book of Life, slain from the foundation of the earth. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 22. And you shall be my people, and I will be your God. Behold, the whirlwind of Yahweh goeth forth with fury, a continuing whirlwind. It shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked. The fierce anger of Yahweh shall not return until he have done it, and until he have performed the intent of his heart. In the latter days you shall consider it.
In the latter days, that's what we're doing, considering it, right? Making up our mind whether we're going to, some of us, are making up our mind whether we're going to serve the true and living God or not. Others have already made up their mind, and you know what they say? I'm going to church. See, but I'm my own God. Right. I'm going to go to church every Sunday, every Sabbath day, rather. I'm going to go to church. I'm going to keep all the holy days. I'm going to put money in church, but I ain't going to do nothing. I'm just going to sit there. Right. Going to read, brother.
Yes, sir. Yirmiyahu chapter 31, verse 1. At the same time, says Yahweh, will I be the Elohim of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. Thus says Yahweh, the people which were left of the sword found grace in the wilderness, even Israel, when I went to cause them to rest.
Amen.
Yahweh have appeared of old unto me, saying, yes, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore with loving kindness have I drawn you. Again, I will build you, and you shall be built, O virgin of Israel. You shall again be adorned with your tablets, and shall go forth in the dances of them that make merry.
And why does he call us virgins? Because most of us haven't worshipped another God since we came under the blood of the Messiah. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 5. Thou shalt yet plant vines upon the mountains of Samaria. The planter shall plant and shall eat them as common beings.
Now, he didn't say you were going to plant no vines in heaven, did he? He said you, in Ezekiel 37 chapter, he said, I'm going to open your graves and bring you back to the land of Israel, right? And again, I will build you, and you shall be built, O virgin of Israel. You shall again be adorned with your tablets, and shall go forth in the dances of them that make merry. You shall yet plant vines upon the mountains of Samaria. The planter shall plant, and shall eat them as common things. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 6. For there shall be a day that the watchmen upon the Mount Ephraim shall cry, arise you, and let us go up to Sion unto Yahweh our Elohim. But thus says Yahweh, sing with gladness for Jacob, and shout among the chief of the nations, publish you, praise you, and say, O Yahweh, save your people, the remnant of Israel. Behold, I will bring them from the north country, and gather them from the coast of the earth, and with them the blind and the lame, the woman with child, and her that travaileth with child together. A great company shall return thither. They shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers of waters in a straight way, wherein they shall not stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Hear the word of Yahweh, O you nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattered Israel will gather him and keep him, as a shepherd does his flock. For Yahweh hath redeemed Jacob, and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he.
Hallelujah.
Therefore they shall come and sing in the heights of Zion, and shall flow together to the goodness of Yahweh, for wheat and for wine and for oil, and for the young of the flock and of the herd. And their soul shall be as a watered garden, and they shall not sorrow any more at all.
Amen.
Then shall the virgin rejoice in the dance, both young men and old together. For I will turn their mourning into joy, and will comfort them, and make them rejoice from their sorrow. And I will saturate the soul of the priest with fatness,
Amen.
and my people shall be satisfied with my goodness, says Yahweh.
Amen.
Thus says Yahweh, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping. Rachel, weeping for her children, refused to be comforted for her children, because they were not.
That's because Benjamin was the first people that was destroyed when the Romans came into our land. So go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 16. Thus says Yahweh, refrain your voice from weeping, and your eyes from tears, for your work shall be rewarded, says Yahweh, and they shall come again from the land of the enemy. And there is hope in your end, says Yahweh, that your children shall come again to their own border.
Praise Yah.
I have surely heard Ephraim bemoaning himself thus, you have chastised me, and I was chastised, as a bullock unaccustomed to the yoke. Turn thou me, and I shall be turned. For you are Yahweh, my Elohim. Surely after that I was turned, I repented. And after that I was instructed, I smote upon my thigh. I was ashamed, yes, even confounded, because I did bear the reproach of my youth. Is Ephraim my dear son? Is he a pleasant child? For since I spoke against him, I do earnestly remember him still. Therefore my bowels are troubled for him. I will surely have mercy upon him, says Yahweh.
Amen.
Set you up waymarks, make you high heat. Set your heart toward the highway, even the way which you went. Turn again, O virgin of Israel. Turn again to these your cities. How long will you go about, O you backsliding daughter? For Yahweh have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
Ain't it happening?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Now they trying to throw that out the window tonight. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 23. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, the El of Israel. As yet they shall use this speech in the land of Yehuda and in the cities thereof, when I shall bring again their captivity. Yahweh bless you, O habitation of justice, and mountain of holiness.
Right, and the reason why a woman is going to compass a man, because man is going to be scarce compared to women. The scripture told you that 7 women is going to grab onto the coattail of one man as a Jew, saying, look here, we got our own money, we got our own clothes, just let us take your name and take away our reproach, right? It didn't say surpass a man, it said compass, and that means be all around about him, right? Hasn't it been getting down to that? Right here in this country here. They started laying off black males, walking around talking about, what's happened to the black males? You got them all in jail. The ones you ain't got in the graveyard. What's happening to the black male? Now, then they started giving the woman a job, right? Knowing all the time that was going to create a schism in 55% of our houses, right? Didn't they do it?
Yes,
Now they're throwing the women out.
right.
Then what we going to do for the women? What are we going to do for our sisters? Go ahead and read. But you need to think about that. Go ahead and, the regards to how they treated us in the casting out of the males, regardless to how hardy and heady and high-minded they get, what are we going to do for them in the time that they need help? See, a man has to know how to cover the sins of his household. If you don't know how to cover the sins of your household, you and your house is in big, deep trouble. Women can't cover that sin. Only the males of Israel can cover that sin. Go ahead. So just, your sisters, just be thankful for what you got. Go on and read. But you may not care nothing about it. You may love it. You may not care nothing about it. You may misuse it. You may do it like you want to. But be careful of what you got. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 24. And there shall dwell in Yehuda itself, and in all the cities thereof together, farmers, and they that go forth with flocks. For I have saturated the weary soul, and I have replenished every sorrowful soul. Upon this I awake and beheld, and my sleep was sweet unto me. Behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Yehuda with the seed of man and with the seed of beast. And it shall come to pass that like as I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy and to afflict, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, says Yahweh.
Amen.
In those days they shall say no more, the fathers have eaten the sour grape, and the children's teeth are set on edge.
Right, we ain't gonna be able to say, well, we went into captivity this time because of what our fathers did. It ain't gonna work like that no more. See? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 30. But everyone shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eateth the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge. Amen. Behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Yehuda.
Now, so far, in the covenant, we read all the covenants that was up in Genesis, right? Now here we talk about the new covenant, right? I hear you Gentiles all the time talking about being in covenant with God. I haven't read one place in this book yet where a covenant was made with anybody except people of the lineage of the house of Israel.
Amen.
Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they broke, although I was an husband unto them, says Yahweh. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, says Yahweh, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Most High. For they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, says Yahweh. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more.
Right. We ain't going to have a choice. We're going to look around and see people that lived on the earth 4,000 years before we did. Walking around in the kingdom, right? Like Job said, with my eyes, in my flesh, shall I see God. Right? Ain't he going to sit on the throne of David? Okay. You want to read, brother?
Yes, sir. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 35. Thus says Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. Yahweh of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, says Yahweh, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Thus says Yahweh, if heaven above can be measured and the foundation of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, says Yahweh. Behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that the city shall be built to the Lord from the tower of Hananiel unto the gate of the corner. And the measuring line shall yet go forth over against it upon the hill Gareb, and shall compass about to Goah. And the whole valley of the dead bodies and of the ashes, and all the fields unto the brook of Kidron, unto the corner of the horse gate toward the east, shall be holy unto Yahweh. It shall not be plucked out, nor thrown down any more forever.
Amen and amen. Surely these historical facts were recorded for all times by Yahweh's representatives, the 12 tribes of Israel, our fathers, from the Almighty. From the time Yahweh's Spirit was sent among our fathers in the Genesis, down through the annals of time, Yahweh has always been among our fathers. And he has always raised up brothers from among our people to deliver them from the power of Lucifer's far-reaching vanity. However, the more mercy he showed upon our fathers, the more they sinned. But due to the temporal animal sacrifice given to cover their sin, they used that grace as a stepping stone to sin and felt justified, rather, by the blood of bulls and goats. Notwithstanding, the thing Yahweh hates most is unrighteousness. Why? Because it's sin, and because of the harm that it does in breaching covenants designed to make one holy. Job chapter 1 and verse 1 through chapter 2 and verse 10. Job is the book right behind Esther. You got Chronicles, you got 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, then Esther, and then Job. Job chapter 1 and verse 1 through chapter 2 and verse 10. Yeah.
Job chapter 1, verse 1. There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Yah and eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household. So that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East.
Now, a lot of people say, but see, he was of the East, like he came from China or somewhere.
Right.
He was a Chinaman. Right. No, he wasn't. Job was Hebrew. He just didn't live in Goshen. That's why Moses wrote about it.
What people don't understand, you got Mid-East and you got Far East.
I know, bro.
They don't understand.
What?
Basically, where he was.
What people don't understand is history.
Right.
And the Word of God, that's what they don't understand. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 4. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them. According to the number of them all, But Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed Yah in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. Now there was a day when the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan came also among them.
Now he's talking about the angels. We know that, because Satan was there too, right? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 7. And Yahweh said unto Satan, from where did you come? Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
Right, he's the prince of this earth. And he was sent to bring forth the fruit of this earth, but he brought forth fruit unto unrighteousness. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 8. And Yahweh said unto Satan, have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth Yah and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, does Job fear Yah for naught? Have not you made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he have on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth your hand now and touch all that he have, and he will curse you to your face. And Yahweh said unto Satan, behold, all that he have is in your power. Only upon himself put not forth your hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of Yahweh.
And when he stands before the throne to accuse you daily, the same thing takes place. The same exact thing takes place. Go ahead, brother.
Issachar had a son, and his name was Job. Are we speaking of the same one?
No.
That's not him.
No, this is the same Job. Go ahead and read.
Yes,
Not
sir.
from my research. It's not the same. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 13. And that was the day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them, and the Sabaeans fell upon them and took them away. Yes, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped along to tell
Now,
you.
the Sabaeans are Africans now. Right. Remember we read in the prophets where he says he's going to take these Euro-Gentiles' sons and sell them to the Sabaeans? Right. Okay. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 16. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of Elohim is fallen from heaven and have burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I only am escaped alone to tell you.
It wasn't the fire from Elohim. Satan threw that fire, right? And we read that Satan is going to give power unto this last, unto the Pope, that he's going to be able to make fire come down out of heaven in the sight of men. Right. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 17. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels and have carried them away, yes, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped along to tell you. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house, and behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I only am escaped along to tell you. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshipped and said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return there. Yahweh gave, and Yahweh have taken away. Blessed be the name of Yahweh.
Praise Yah.
In all this, Job sinned not, nor charged Yah foolishly. Again, that was the day when the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahweh, as Satan came also among them to present himself before Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto Satan, from where did you come? Satan answered Yahweh and said, from going to and fro in the earth and from walking up and down in it.
Now, you see what it said? There came a day when the sons of God came to appear before him, and Satan came also, right? Just like the angels have to make appearances, we have to make the same appearances. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 3. And Yahweh said unto Satan, have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth Yah and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although you move me against him to destroy him without cause? Satan answered Yahweh and said, skin for skin, yes, all that a man have will he give for his life. But put forth your hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse you to your face. And Yahweh said unto Satan, behold, he is in your hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of Yahweh and smote Job with sore balls from the sole of his foot unto his crown. And Job took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the
Right. The brother went down to the garbage heap and took a broken pot, sat down in the ashes, and took a broken pot and started scratching himself with that broken pot. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 9. Then said his wife unto him, do you still retain your integrity?
Of course he does. Go ahead, brother.
Curse Elohim and die. But Job said unto her, you speak as one of the foolish women speak. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of Elohim, and shall we not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips.
Now, what this shows us is that the law is the prescribed righteousness of the Almighty. Therefore, we have our senses of righteousness exercised through trials and tribulation presented by the adversary of righteousness. The Universal Roman Catholic Church is truly the mother of all the unrighteousness of the churches on the earth today. They claim to be followers of our Lord Yeshua and keep the doctrine of the holy Hebrews, yet the Christians don't walk as those people did. Yet capitalism and wealth is the vehicle that catapults them toward their quest of earthly power. Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 1 through verse 23. They don't care nothing about nothing but money. That's all they care about, money and power. Right. And they will kill mama, daddy, sister, brother, and everybody that's in the family about money. Right. And they show it to us on TV all the time, how they be poisoning folks in the family and shooting off Menendez. Right. That's the name? Menendez, right. Them two boys, look what they did. Right. See? Well, I told you go, man.
Isaiah chapter 24, verse 1.
Yeah.
Behold, Yahweh maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall be, as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of interest, so with the giver of interest to him.
In regards to who you are, it's going to affect you, right? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 3. The land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled, for Yahweh hath spoken this word. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. The mirth of Tyrus ceases, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the heart ceases. They shall not drink wine with a song, strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the street. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaming grape when the vintage is done.
Right. A man is going to be as precious as a gold or a wedge of gold of a fur. We talking about platinum being on.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, bro.
Yes, sir. Verse 14. They shall lift up their voice. They shall sing for the majesty of Yahweh. They shall cry aloud from the sea. Wherefore glorify you, Yahweh, in the fires, even the name of Yahweh Elohim of Israel in the isles of the sea.
We're still talking about the coming of the Messiah, right? What's going to take place when the Messiah returns, right? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 16. From the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs, even glory to the righteous. But I said, my leanness, woe unto me. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously. Yea, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously.
Right. They changed the ordinances and broke the everlasting covenant and gave us constitutions that they can't even decipher. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 17. Fear and the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitant of the earth. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit. And he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cartridge, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh will punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun of shame, when Yahweh of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before his ancient glorious.
Amen and amen. Now, we know that the curse of the law devoured our people, right? The Hebrews, right? But because of the nature of the nation, and because Yahweh gave them paganism to deal with, the curse is devouring the whole earth. The ecosystems are being destroyed because of corporate products and byproducts and waste. Nature and plagues are wreaking havoc all over the earth. And the military force of the nation have either purposely or inadvertently released chemical, nuclear, and biological contaminants all over the globe. But consider this. The Egyptian or African empire that existed prior to 1491 B.C., the Arabic Empire of 606 B.C., the Asian Empire of 539 B.C., the Euro-Gentile Empire of Alexander the Great in 333 B.C., and the so-called Holy Roman Empire of 63 B.C. to 476 A.D., they all have the same thing in common. The very same thing. Isaiah 14 and verse 5 through verse 27. They all got the same thing in common. They all put their hands on God's children, number one. Isaiah 14, and go ahead and pick that up, my brother, at verse 5.
Yes, sir. Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none...
Right, now Satan is being persecuted, right? And ain't nobody stopping him, or stopping the angels of the Lord from persecuting Satan. We read in Revelation where a mighty angel came down with a great chain on his hand, didn't he? In his hand, didn't he? And grabbed hold on Satan and cast him in the bottom of the pit and put that chain on him and set a seal up on him so he couldn't deceive the nation no more for 1,000 years. He's being persecuted, and you know who's persecuting him? We are. That's why every time we commit an iniquity, we get right off in our stuff, don't we? Payback. See, so like I keep saying, Satan works for Yahweh also. We read in Job where it says, there came a time when the sons of God came to appear before him, Satan came also, right? Again, there came a time and Satan came also, right? And he's Yahweh's enemy, right? But he works for the same boss you do. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
Right, because Satan is in the pit. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 8. Yes, the fir trees rejoice at you, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since you are laid down, no fellows come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved for you to meet you at your coming. It stirreth up the dead for you, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto you, are you also become weak as we? Or you become like unto us? Your pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of your vows. The worm is spread under you, and the worms cover you. How are you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How are you cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Elohim. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
Ain't that the lie he's telling the church?
Yes, sir.
We're going to ascend in heaven.
Right.
Every time you go see a funeral, folks out looking up in the sky. There he goes. He up in heaven now. And you looking at him laying right there.
Right.
They getting ready to throw some dirt in his face. And they talking about, he riding up. Next year he'll be pushing up daisies. Go ahead, Rick, brother.
And at the same time, they put him in the ground and say, may he rest in peace.
Hey, that's something. May he rest in peace, ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. But he's in heaven. When Christ was resurrected from the dead, he said, touch me, feel me, it's I myself. Spirits do not have flesh and bone as you see me have. Yet and still, their body is there and their spirit is in heaven. What kind of sense that makes? Go ahead and read, brother. Now a man got two spirits. They tell me God gave him a spirit when he was born, and then he got the Holy Ghost. So now he got two spirits. All right. Yeah. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 15, yet you shall be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see you shall narrowly look upon you and consider you, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners?
Now remember now, Satan lives in Bulgaria. Now remember that now. That's where Antipas was slain, right? That's where Satan's home is, right there in Bulgaria.
Brother, we made that comment to that Gentile European who's coming to church, and he laughed at it.
He laughed at everything else.
I mean, don't he know that Satan has a dwelling place on earth? He was trapped on this earth.
Of course he
Kicked
can't.
out of heaven, and Yahweh prepared him for him, right?
Of course. Of course. The Messiah called him the prince of this earth.
Right.
Okay. When Yahweh asked Satan, say, where you coming from? He said, from going to and fro in the earth and walking up and down in it. Right. So him say, we're going to read where all he been up on the earth. Why? Because this is his prison. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Sure. What makes you think all angels got to go to heaven up here before it's created?
Access to,
Because he's one of the sons of God. It's not that he was, he is the cherub that covers the mercy seat. Now box with that one for a while. Yeah, see, Satan is an angel. All the angels are sons of God. You got evil angels, just like in your household. You have sons in your household that are boxed about this and won't box about that, right? Same thing in heaven. That's why all this stuff here got to be taken care of. So man can live in righteousness forever, even forever and ever. But as long as Satan is an angel, as long as he is an angel, then we're going to have problems. Why do you think the scripture says it's just a man that caused kingdoms to crumble? In Revelation, that's when Satan is thrown out of heaven. That's when he'll appear in heaven, and everybody going to say, there's the Messiah. Yeah, go on and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 18. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But you are cast out of your grave like an abominable branch, and as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. You shall not be joined with them in burial, because you have destroyed your land and slain your people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Prepare slaughter for who? His children. Right? His children, the largest gathering of his children will be tomorrow morning. Them Muslims, we know they serve, and they gather anytime. The Chinese, they don't never gather for nothing. They worship the dragon. They just have parties all up and down the street, right? They worship that little green man and Zoroaster and all them other folks that came up among them. Yeah. Go ahead and read, bro.
Yes, sir, verse 22. For I will rise up against them, says Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from America the name and remnant and son and nephew, says Yahweh. I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the broom of destruction, says Yahweh.
Now, if y'all notice, the earthquakes are intensifying more in America, right? The hurricanes are intensifies more, right? They already talk about the ecosystems in America, especially the Everglades, how it's drying up, right? Okay. Okay. Keep watching these signs, because Yahweh is telling these people, let my people go. Telling all the nations on earth, look how he got these plagues like that AIDS thing. First it was that gonorrhea thing.
Right.
Then came that syphilis thing.
Right.
Then came herpes.
Right.
Then came the Asiatic flu.
Right.
Then came AIDS.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's chlamydia basically come from unclean.
And also, like we was talking about earlier, he really visiting that iniquity on those children, where they've been shooting each other in school systems. Man.
Of course.
Them Europeans just wiping each other out, man.
Well, what you expect? That's what they're showing them on TV, ain't it?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Here, the parents got a gun in the desk drawer over here, 15 guns in the rack on the wall, got a gun in the toilet, got a gun in the kitchen drawer, got a gun in the car, got a gun in the truck, got guns everywhere, and still going to the gun show buying guns. What you expect? You expect to bring a whole lot of guns around your house? Show you something. Show you what I mean. If you smoke, I bet you when your kids are going to try to smoke, ain't you? Okay. Go and read.
Ezekiel chapter 14, verse... Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Pastor. I've heard that lie. Christ said, Paul said, see, don't listen to the book. Paul said, you've heard that Antichrist is going to come. But I tell you, weeping, that there are many Antichrists. They went out from among us, right? But they went out that it might be made manifest that it wasn't a part of us no way. See? There's many Antichrists. The Muslims are the Antichrist. Folks sit right up in this congregation here and don't do that job they're supposed to do, or don't get in no job, they're Antichrist, ain't they? Okay. The Spirit is doing the job. How can you be a servant of God and don't work? Always won't pay. Father, forgive me. Give me this day my daily bread. Keep me living. Keep me breathing, because I'm scared to die, because I know I haven't done what you said. Yeah. Go on and read, man.
Yes, sir. Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 24. Yahweh of hosts hath sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand, that I will break this Syrian in my land, and under my mountains tread him underfoot, and upon my mountains, tread him underfoot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders.
Now, where's Assyria? Huh? It's Turkey, ain't it? Ain't they you a Gentile? Ain't they in control? He said, I'm going to break them under my hand. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 26. This is the purpose that is purposed upon the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. For Yahweh of hosts hath purpose, and who shall disannul it? And his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn his back?
Right, they can't disannul it. But what they've done is this. They doggone sure hid it from us pretty good, didn't they? Like they said, put it in the book, and black folk will never find it. Ezekiel 28, pick that up at verse 1 through verse 19. That's what they think. See, they tried to, Ezekiel 28 in verse 1 through verse 19. They trying to put a stigma, a stereotype on our people. It ain't gonna work. Too many brothers have been taught the truth. In the past 20 years, you'd be surprised the brothers have been taught the truth. So all praise be to the Most High.
Hallelujah.
And I'm so glad, brother, because when my time comes, if I get out of here tomorrow, brother, with some brothers in this city.
That would have been to be in here.
Isaiah chapter 28. I'll pick that up at verse 1.
The word of God.
Ezekiel, I'm sorry. Ezekiel 28 and verse 1. I'm sorry, y'all.
Verse 1. The word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus.
Now we know that at this time here, what was happening was that Gabriel was bringing the Medo-Persian Empire upon the Babylonian Empire, and Satan was trying to keep the Babylonian Empire in place. See, it was time for our people to go back to their land. The 70-year captivity was coming to an end. So he was trying to bring the Medo-Persian Empire upon the Babylonian Empire, right? Okay, go ahead and read it, brother, and see what he said to Satan was the prince of Tyrus, right? Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 2. Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, Thus says Adonai Elohim, because your heart is lifted up, and you have said, I am a Elohim, I sit in the seat of Elohim, in the midst of the seas, yet you are a man and not Elohim, though you set your heart as the heart of Elohim. Behold, you are wiser than Daniel. There's no secret that they can hide from you.
You know you're talking about Satan now, don't we? Right. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 4. With your wisdom and with your understanding, you have gotten you riches and have gotten gold and silver into your treasures. By your great wisdom and by your traffic have you increased your riches, and your heart is lifted up because of your riches.
Because today they call it capitalism. I call it robbery. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 6. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Elohim, because you have set your heart as the heart of Elohim.
And because you set your heart as the heart of God, you got all these folks worshiping you, right? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 7. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon you, the cherub of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of your wisdom, and they shall defile your brightness. They shall bring you down to the pit, and you shall die the death of them that are slain in the midst of the sea. Will you yet say before him that slayeth you, I am Elohim? But you shall be a man and no Elohim in the hand of him that slayeth you.
You shall be a man. You see what he's saying? Right. You shall be a man, right? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 10. You shall die the death of the uncircumcised by the hand of strangers, for I have spoken it, says Adonai Elohim.
Can you imagine an angel being put in a position like that to die and then be raised up and thrown in that lake of fire?
Talk about emotion.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 11. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus, and say unto him, Thus says Adonai Elohim, you seal up the song, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You have been in Edom, the garden of Elohim. Every precious stone was your covering, the sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of your tabrets and of your pipes were prepared in you in the day that you were created.
Riches and music. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 14. You are the anointed cherub that covers.
Not you were. You are the anointed cherub to cover the mercy seat. Even though he was in the guard, right? And here he is up here in Ezekiel's time. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. And I have set you so. You were upon the holy mountain of Elohim. You have walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. So he was in the middle of the earth in those volcanoes. Right?
Of course.
And I read this to a brother. I say, this showing that he has complete control of the earth.
Of
He
the earth.
want to deny that this was even safe.
Who you think it is that made Mount St. Helen blow up? Who you think it is that got that ring of fire all around Japan, all around there, those Asian countries, huh? Who you think it is that got those hot spots all up in there? The Allegheny, the Blue Ridge, the Cascades. They found out when Mount St. Helens blew all those hot spots where they told the people. They already knew that. Who you think just got all that stuff set up? Satan. Go ahead and breathe, brother. See, this is earth. He do with it what he wants to.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Give it 6,000 years, right?
That's right.
Verse 15. You were perfect in your ways from the day that you were created till iniquity was found in you.
Right. He didn't think God should have the power to create a man and then tell him how to live. We get children, we tell them how to live, don't we? Okay. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 16. By the multitude of your merchandise, they have filled the midst of you with violence, and you have sinned. Therefore I will cast you as profane out of the mountain of Elohim, and I will destroy you, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. Your heart was lifted up because of your beauty. You have corrupted your wisdom by reason of your brightness. I will cast you to the ground. I will lay you before kings, that they may behold you. You have defiled your sanctuaries by the multitude of your iniquities, by the iniquity of your traffic. Therefore will I bring forth a fire from the midst of you, it shall devour you, and I will bring you to ashes upon the earth in the sight of all them that behold you. All they that know you among the people shall be astonished at you. You shall be a terror, and never shall you be anymore.
Okay, my brother, I don't want to go no further than that. All the nations of the earth have been upon the mountain of our God, desecrated his holy land, or defiled his holy temple. And we know that. We got that in history. We got historical facts to prove that, right? And to top that off, they put Yahweh's holy people, the Hebrew Israelites, to tribute, right? Jeremiah 50 and verse 17 through verse 34. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 17 through verse 34. See, Yahweh going to recompense everything that has been done to his people, and we can look forward to come. See, the nations on high now because they're on high because the adversary, the devil, has put them there so that for one reason, they'd have dominion over us and we won't have somebody to follow. We want to be just like the Gentiles. And to show you that, niggas march, got dogs, sicked on them, water hoses knocking them down, niggas got locked up, spent tons of money. The American Civil Liberties Union and the NAACP spent tons of money getting niggas out of jail, right? And they had all them brothers that was down here that was in on that thing, like the brother that I used to rent a house from, what that guy's name was when I lived over in the first one. Whatever his name was. Turner. That brother, show you what he got out of the civil rights movement. He ended up with 28 houses and a shopping center.
Yes, sir. Of in high town.
Right.
By the modern state.
Right.
Right.
See? Everybody talking about Jesse this. Jesse went and laid with this woman. Oh, man, I just can't understand how Jesse can go and lay with this woman. The United States government say, we don't give a damn who Jesse laid with. Jesse got this money here from these people here, and he didn't pay no tax on it. Jesse got this money here from these people here, and he didn't pay no tax on it. Now, see, the government is not coming out doing that. See, what they're doing is this. They feeding that to us. And we're the one that's bringing that out, right? Right. So when the deal go down, they say, well, his own people exposed him.
Right. Right.
The Central Intelligence Agency exposed him. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 17 through 34. Israel is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away. First, the king of Assyria have devoured him, and last, this Nebuchadnezzar, king of Mesopotamia, have broken his bones. Therefore, thus says Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land as I have punished the king of Assyria. And I will bring Israel again to his habitation, and he shall feed on Carmel and Bashan, and his soul shall be satisfied upon Mount Ephraim and Gilead.
Amen.
In those days and in that time, says Yahweh, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there shall be none. And the sins of Yehuda, and they shall not be found. For I will pardon them whom I reserve.
Right. And he's going to give you those new bodies right? He's going to write his law in your hearts and in your mind, put his spirit in you, and you're going to live, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor, saying, know the Lord, because all of us are going to know him, from the least of us to the greatest. Why? Because he's going to be merciful to our unrighteousness and our sins and our iniquities. He's going to remember no more. He's going to punish you first.
Yes, sir. Yes,
But
sir.
if you do endure that chastisement, yes, sir, you got it. Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Yirmiyahu chapter 50, verse 21. Go up against the land of the rebels, even against it and against the inhabitants of visitation. Waste and utterly destroy after them, says Yahweh, and do according to all that I have commanded you. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is America become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for you, and you all are also taken, America, and you were not aware. You are found and also caught because you have striven against Yahweh. Yahweh have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of Adonai Elohim of hosts in the land of the Aryans. Come against her from the utmost border. Open her storehouses. Cast her up as heaps and destroy her utterly. Let none of her be left. Slay all her bullocks. Let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation.
Praise Yah.
The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of America, to declare in Zion the vengeance of Yahweh our Elohim, the vengeance of his temple. Call together the archers against America. All you that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done, do unto her. For she hath been proud against Yahweh, against the Holy One of Israel.
She done fought all the nations, haven't she?
Right.
Says she's done. She done fought nations and robbed nations and pillaged nations of their resources and so forth. Says she's done, doing her. What goes around comes around. You do somebody, we play them little games with each other, especially in families. We play them little games with each other, but remember one thing. When it comes back around, don't get mad.
Right.
Don't get mad. Just understand one thing. Yahweh is recompensing your ways upon your own head. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 30.
That's why when things come up in my household, brother, and we get to the place to where things are kind of heated up, say, well, hey, look here, whatever you got to do, do it.
Right.
And I'm through with that. I'm through with that. Go on and do what I got to do.
Right.
You know why? Because if it's righteousness, Yahweh's going to bless it. If it's unrighteousness, I'm going to stand back from it and see what I can do about it after it's all over with. That's what you got to do. You got to pick up the pieces and put it back together, ain't you? Huh? You the head of the household, right? If your family busts up, whose fault is it? You know why? Niggas walk around thinking they God. I don't want to do this. That's your job. What kind of mess is that? Brothers, some brothers is just too out there to wash clothes,
Right.
to cook,
Right.
to sweep the floor.
Right.
See? But men do those things.
Yes, sir.
Which one of you brothers in here married don't clean up the house? Stand up. Ain't nobody stood up. Yeah. I mean, the woman is a helpmate for a man, right?
Right.
Well, she's the weaker vessel. She needs help.
Right.
If she work 8 hours, don't you think she should help? You still got strength, ain't you? Don't read, man. No, I better stop. I better stop. I ain't got no way to get home. Go to read, brother.
Yirmiyahu chapter 50, verse 30. Therefore shall her young men fall in the street, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, says Yahweh. Behold, I am against you, O you most proud, says Adonai Elohim of hosts. For your day has come, the time that I will visit you. And the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him.
Can't they do that very easily with nuclear energy? Kindle a fire in the cities that would devour everything all around about, right? Okay. Satan gave him that genie. America was the first one to use it on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. What goes around comes around. She destroyed 2 islands. Her whole nation is going to be destroyed. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 33. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Yehudah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
Right, because they didn't put somebody else in our land, in our place. Got us walking around talking about we Africans. The Africans know y'all ain't bringing all them niggas over here. See? Not one time have they asked to bring my people back home. So we got enough problem with them over here in this country, and we don't want all them folks over 20 million, 20, 30, 40 million. We ain't got no place to go. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 34, last verse. Their Redeemer is strong. Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of America.
Amen. Zechariah 1 in verse 18 through chapter 2 in verse 13. Zechariah 1 in verse 18 through chapter 2 in verse 13.
Brother, that'd be a great day to see the land of your captivity just sunk in the sea.
Yeah, of course.
Can't go back like we tried to go back in Egypt.
You got to go back over to that hole over there, the Roman Catholic Church, talking that yin-yang. I need to come back home, Mom. You come back over here, you're going to have to take this name, this number, this mark now. You don't run nothing. See, we told you in the beginning. See, we were coming together under one king, but you sitting back with them, no. I got all the power. I'm going to be the king. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. You got God's holy people over there. He's going to do something to you about that. Not knowing that there's coming too. Go ahead and read, brother. Go ahead and read.
Zechariah chapter 1, verse 18. Then lifted I up mine eyes and saw, and behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Yehudah, Israel, and Jerusalem.
Hey, what my book say? Oh, I'm in Zephaniah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Okay, Zechariah chapter 1, verse 18. Then lifted I up mine eyes and saw, and behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Yehudah, Israel, and Jerusalem.
The 4 empires upon the earth, Babylonian, Medo-Persian, Greek, and Roman, right? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 20. And Yahweh showed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, what come these to do? And he spoke, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Yehudah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these are come to frighten them, to cast out the horns of the Europeans, which lifted up their horns over the land of Yehudah to scatter. I lifted up mine eyes again and looked, and behold, a man with a measuring line in his hand. Then said I, where are you going? He said unto me, to measure Jerusalem, to see what is the breadth thereof and what is the length thereof. And behold, the angel that talked with me went forth, and another angel went out to meet him and said unto him, run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem shall be inhabited as towns without walls for the multitude of men and cattle therein. For I, says Yahweh, will be unto her a wall of fire round about, and will be the glory in the midst of her. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, says Yahweh, for I have spread you abroad as the 4 winds of the heavens, says Yahweh. Deliver yourself, O Yehudah, that dwelleth with the daughter of Europe.
You see what he told Judah? Huh? You see what he told Judah? He said, you deliver yourself. Right? Y'all are the ones that are going to be received the first dominion. You're going to be the rulers of the earth. And he said, deliver yourself. I'm going to give you the tools you need, but deliver yourself. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 8.
You waiting right? You wait, lay around here and wait for Yahweh to come and deliver you. Deliver yourself. That's what we're in the process of doing now. Working deliverance in the earth. I want to read, brother.
Zechariah, chapter 2, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
But thus says Yahweh of hosts, after the glory have he sent me unto the nations which spoil you, for he that touches you touches the apple of his eye. For behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. And you shall know that Yahweh of hosts hath sent me.
Amen.
Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Yehudah, for lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of you, says Yahweh. And many nations shall be joined to Yahweh in that day, and shall be my people. And I will dwell in the midst of you, and you shall know that Yahweh of hosts hath sent me unto you. And Yahweh shall inherit Yehudah his portion in the Holy Land, and shall choose Jerusalem again. Be silent, O all flesh, before the Lord, for he is raised up out of his holy habitation.
Amen and amen. Raised up out of his holy habitation to come to shake this earth terribly and take his people out of captivity, put down all rule on the earth, and the earth shall become as the Garden of Eden again. Why? Because righteousness will dwell on the earth. And he said in verse 11, and many nations shall be joined to Yahweh in that day, and shall be my people. He created all flesh, right? And I will dwell in the midst of you, and you shall know that that Yahweh of hosts has sent me unto you. Now let's go and see when these many nations is going to join on to Yahweh Elohim. We know it, they haven't done it so far. You don't see no other nations in here, do you? Okay. Let's go into Revelation 7. Let's go into Revelation 7 and see when it's going to come about. See, then you can understand. It's a lot of us. It's a lot of us that's not going to make it to the wilderness. It's a lot of us that the ship, the transportation, the mode of transportation that we have to use, that Yahweh choose for us to get out of here. It's going to be some of us that's going to land into the Euro Gentiles' land, but it's for a reason. See, you should have did what you're supposed to do when you had the chance to do it. Yeah, you're going to find out that hindsight's 20/20. Let's go into Revelation chapter 7 and find out when these nations are going to grab onto the creator. See, it's glory and honor to the Jew first. So you got this to teach to the nations. Now let's go into Revelation 7 and pick that up at verse 1 and see when this thing's going to happen. Now, in Revelation 6, we got 6 of the 7 seals that was open, right? And verse 12, Satan was thrown out of heaven, right? Now all the kings of the earth hide us from the face of him, set upon the horse and everything, and worship him, right? They thanks the Lord, right? Okay, now pick that up in Revelation 7 and verse 1.
Yes, sir, verse 1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree.
These 4 armies coming together, right? Okay, they come into the valley of Megiddo, right? They're coming down to do war in Jerusalem simply because Jake has went back in there and took that city. Go ahead, bro.
Yes, sir, verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living Elohim. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our Elohim in their foreheads.
Them folks miss this in them churches. Say, don't you hurt anything till we seal God's servant. Everybody talk about this serving God, right? He talks to them and he sleeps with them and all that other junk. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and that was sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
These are God's servants. These were the servants. The tribe of Israel was chosen to be God's servants when he gave us that testimony in the wilderness. And he told us after the tenor of these words, I made a covenant with the children of Israel, right? Okay. Now skip down to verse 9, my brother, and pick that up at verse 9.
Yes, sir. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our Elohim, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne, and about the elders, and the four beasts, and fell down, and fell before the throne on their faces, and worshiped Yah, saying, Amen. Blessing and glory, and wisdom, and thanksgiving, and honor, and power, and might be unto our Elohim forever and ever. Amen. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes, and from where did they come?
Where these folks here come from? I know about Israel, that sealing and all that servant stuff, but where did these folks here come from of all nations, tongues, and language? Where did they come from? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 14. And I said unto him, Sir, you know. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb.
These are the ones that came out of great tribulation. It's glory and honor to the Jews first. You were sent to teach them. Who you think going to teach them during the great tribulation? Israel, right? Okay, that's good enough. Of course, the servants see it from the wrath of God, man. I mean, Yahweh is getting ready to, those angels getting ready to wreak havoc all over this earth. When you read the account of the seals and the trumpets, Yahweh's wrath upon the earth, man, this earth is going to be just about unfit to live on, man. All the fresh water was turned to blood. All the salt water was turned to blood. Everything in the sea died, right? There was plague. An angel poured a vial on the sun, and the sun didn't shine for a third part of the day, and the night likewise, man. Pestilences and so forth running all over the earth, man, and killing all folks, man, by the thousands. This earth is going to be almost unfit to live in, because that's what Satan is trying to do. Destroy your inheritance along with you and everything else that God created on this earth. Then he said, I'm going to ascend into heaven. See, I'm coming over there. I'm going to exalt my throne above Israel. I'm going to ascend into heaven. I'm going to be just like God. Yahweh told him, you deceive yourself. Yeah. This very day, the masses of our people are held captive throughout the fragmented empire of Daniel 7 and Revelation 13 and Revelation 17. Why captive? Because we're the only people on the earth who do not have a homeland that we as a people can freely return to and govern as a nation among the nations of today. Why? Because the nations ain't going to stand for no righteousness. From the dawn of time, Lucifer, the prince of this earth, and the father of the first lie, Lucifer, the master deceiver, has captivated the nations. How? Very easily. He allows his children to live according to their fleshly nature.
Right.
See? They believe that they are not under the law by grace. And when they die, they go instantly to heaven. But without law, without law, they said, sin is dead, right? Romans 6, in verse 1 through verse 23. Romans 6, in verse 1 through verse 23. See, folks get bent out of shape with this New Testament, get bent out of shape with some of the things that Paul had to say. I can't help. Paul couldn't help because Yahweh was saving the nation. He did it when he brought us out of Egypt. Wasn't a mixed multitude that came up out of there? He made provision in the law for him. He said, the stranger that dwell among you, as you do, so shall he do. See? Now, when you loan him some money, you can collect interest from him, but you can't collect no interest from your own folks now. Keep that together. Romans 2, and pick that up, my brother, at Romans 6. That's what I told you. Yeah, Romans 6 and verse 1 through verse 23. Getting a little ahead of myself, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
What is sin? Transgression of the law. They said we're not under law, we're under grace. And we ain't got no sin. So we do by nature the things contained. Brother, white boy told me. I went over to rent a truck the day I got ready to move. White dude, I was talking to this white dude. He said, well, The Gentiles do by nature contain the things, we're not under the law, but we do by nature contain the things contained in the law. He know he a Gentile, but Jake don't know he's a Gentile. Jake think he a Gentile.
Right.
And I say, okay, let me ask you a question. I let him talk about 10 minutes. Then I asked him a question. I say, let me ask you a question there. If you had a brother, he got married, and he died, and he didn't have no children, what's supposed to happen to his wife? Well, the family's supposed to take care of her, you know, and make sure she have the things she needs until she get married again. I said, that's not what the law says. So you can't do by nature contained in the law. According to the law says the brother of that his brother shall take her to wife, give her a child, and raise up seed so that that house will not cease in Israel. And you going to tell me you do by nature change things contained in the law? Yahweh said, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. The first thing he blessed and sanctified, here that first thing y'all changed.
That's right.
See? Yahweh told us to keep the feast of the first fruit. You call it Easter.
That's right.
And it never comes on the 16th day of the month of Abib. It always skip around because it got that rabbit in it.
That's right. Got a jump, huh? Got a rabbit in it. That's pretty good.
Go in and read. According to the law, you do by nature the things contained in the law. According to the law, you couldn't have a Hebrew slave for 7 years.
Right.
What's up with this? We've been here almost 400 years. What's up with this? You going to tell me you do by nature the things contained in the law? Go on and read, brother.
Yes, sir.
Brother, that sounds like that law they have where they can hold you for 72 hours, let you out, and then pick you up again.
Pick you right back up again and hold you for another 72 hours and take you. And I've seen it happen right there in Florida, brother. Let brothers out, and soon as they stepped off the city property, police picked them up and brought them right back in there and kept them in there another 21 days. Kept doing that until they gave them a writ of habeas corpus. Go on and read. Where I told you to go, man.
Romans chapter 6, I'll begin at 1 again.
Okay.
What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? Elohim forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Don't you know that so many of us as were baptized into Yahshua HaMashiach were baptized into his death?
We had to be, because it was impossible for the blood of animals to take away sin. You see? Yahweh said, an eye for an eye, a tooth for tooth, foot for foot, hand for hand, and blood for blood, right? Well, what could that animal do for you?
Nothing for the country.
See? But he gave us our people that as a grace. This is why Paul told them, say, the law was just, Yahweh told us ourselves in the scripture, say, I gave them statutes that was unjust, that they shouldn't live by. You see? What had the animal done? Only thing we was doing was had a temple that the altar burnt sacrifice was in front of the temple. The temple stunk from all that blood. Why you think they burned frankincense and myrrh? You want to read, brother?
Yes, sir. Verse 4. Romans 6, verse 4. Therefore, we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as the Anointed One was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life.
That's why the prophet Isaiah said, behold, he told old nasty Ahaz, man, one of the nastiest schemes that we had. He said, that's the Lord's sign. This brother said, I ain't going to ask. So you don't have to ask. That's all right. But the Lord himself, Yahweh himself, going to give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bring forth seed. Huh? He said, oh, Bethlehem in the land of Judah, you are not the least among my people of the house of Judah. Because out of you shall come forth a governor that shall rule my people Israel, right? Name one ruler we had since then. I mean, since Hezekiah. Name one. Huh? Hold your place there, man. Let's go back in the book of Isaiah. See, them crackers play games with this book, see. But like I keep telling them, it's a lion in town. Yeah. And a whole lot of young lions that's coming up. Isaiah 53. Brother told me, first, he said, Rabbi. Next thing he said was, after his brother married Israel, check this out. After his brother married Israel already married to the Lord now. And after to Yahweh. After he married Israel, they start calling him the father, right? Right? Okay. Pick up with Isaiah 53, let's see.
Yes, sir, verse 1. Who have believed our report, and to whom is the arm of Yahweh revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He have no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he hath borne our grief.
Who bore our grief? Huh? And who carried our sorrows? Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of Elohim, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions, not that animal. Right? He was wounded for our transgression, right? He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed.
Elder,
right?
How does this apply to anybody, these Christians? For our transgression, they're not under the law, right?
Right.
So they don't commit any sin.
Of course.
This was not their Messiah.
Right. Of course not. He said, I'm not sent but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right.
When you get in and actually read and study the New Testament, the apostles told those folks, you're a wild olive tree. Right. You've been grafted into this tree contrary to nature. But don't you boast against those branches. Because if God didn't spare the natural branches, take heed that he don't spare you. Right? Well, they did boast against the branches. They cut down the tree and set their own tree in place and put the fruit of the tree in captivity. Now they got this Edomite over there talking about, oh, well, we the Jews. We the Israelis. Sure you are. And when the Israelis get back into the land, you're going to go into captivity, and then your seed is going to be destroyed. Yeah. Go on and read, bro.
Yes, sir. Verse 6. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and Yahweh have laid on him the iniquity of us all.
Wasn't that the reason for the atonement sacrifice?
Yes, sir.
Wasn't that the reason for the Passover lamb? How much would an unblemished lamb cost today? You have to get one from the 4-H club, and I bet you're going to spend over $35 grand for it. That means we'd all die then, wouldn't we? Because all of us wouldn't get together and put up $35,000 to do nothing. Unless build one of them hoe houses out there sitting on the streets. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 7. He was oppressed, and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter.
John said when he saw him, he said, I'm not him. He said, behold, the Lamb of God that takes away the sins of the world. The day the brother showed up for baptism, right? Go ahead and read.
Yes, sir. And as a sheep before her shearers is dumb, so he openeth not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken.
For the transgression, sin, right? For the sins of my people was he stricken. brother told me, said that was David. I said, when did David die for the people? David died because of his own sin. David caused his own self a problem by messing with that woman Bathsheba.
And the kicker to it, Elder, it said, we just read, Yahshua was not a good-looking man.
Right.
It says he was homely looking.
Didn't nobody want to be bothered with him.
David was handsome.
Right.
Good-looking man.
Didn't nobody want to be bothered with this brother here. You know why? This brother was telling them Pharisees and Sadducees, them leaders we had that the Romans had put in power, this brother was telling them, repent. John the Baptist came on with the same thing, didn't he? Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Man, where you come from? What you doing all this stuff here? You say you bunch of snakes? Who warned you to flee from the wrath that has come? He said, but don't worry about it. Because now the axe is laid to the root of the trees. And every tree that does not bring forth good fruit shall be hewn down and cast into the fire. When the Messiah was tempted by Satan for them 40 days and 40 nights, and when he showed up in Galilee, what was the first message? Repent. Keep the laws of God. Stop playing them games y'all playing. And then what did our preachers and politicians do? Oh, man, we got to get that dude out the way, man. He's cutting off our money. He's trying to take our power, talking about he's some king. Wise men say, where is he that is born king of the Jews? See? Told David, say, once I swore, and I will not lie unto David, of the fruit of your bowels will I sit on your throne.
Hallelujah.
So whoever was set on David's throne would have to be a god then, wouldn't it?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 53, verse 9. And he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth.
He asked the people, say, which one of y'all convicts me of sin? Y'all know I'm sinless among you. You can do it too if you want to. But y'all got them Romans in here, and y'all prefer to be like Mike. They had even took the law, our preachers and politicians, man, had even taken the law and started practicing traditions with it. When the apostles and the Messiah ate the Passover, the rest of the folks was waiting till the next day to eat it. You know why? Because of something Josiah had set up over 1,500 years ago. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 10. Yet it pleased Yahweh to bruise him. He hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin,
when you shall make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of Yahweh shall prosper in his hand. You ain't talking about Jason. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir, verse 11. He shall see of the travail of his soul and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities. Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong. Because he hath poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors, and he bore the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors.
And like Saul said, after he had died, he sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high to make intercessions for us. Why? Because Satan accuses us before... Satan is angel to cover the mercy seat. He accused us before God day and night. But what did the Messiah say? I found the rest. Psalms 22. I'm going to kick a piece of scripture on you. I threw on Brother Zerubbabel. Yeah, that brother couldn't say a word. I said, now, you run and tell your congregation that. Right. You teaching the congregation and don't even know what you're talking about, man. Right. The scripture says it's a shame for a man to have long hair, and you got extensions hanging down on your ankle. this is a symbol of my captivity. I said, brother, all folks got to do is look at you and know you're a slave. Got to wear no symbol. Psalms 22. And let's read the prayer that was prayed from the cross, from that torture state, not that junk St. Gregory and St. George and all that stuff give us that spread out X kind of thing from a tree. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Psalm chapter 22, verse 1. My Elohim, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from helping me and from the words of my roar?
Right, okay. I've given it up. I'm up here on this cross now. Let's get this thing here over with. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 2. Oh, my Elohim, I cry in the daytime, but you hear not, and in the night season, and am not silent. But you are holy, O you that inhabited the praises of Israel.
Praise Yahweh.
Our fathers trusted in you. They trusted, and you did deliver them. They cried unto you, and were delivered. They trusted in you, and were not confounded. But I am a worm, and no man, a reproach of men, and despised of the people. All they that see me laugh me to scorn. They shoot out the lip, they shake their head, saying, he trusted on Yahweh that he would deliver him. Let him deliver him, seeing he delighted in him.
Didn't the folks say, when they got ready to give him something to drink, didn't the folks say, leave him alone? So let's see if Yahweh going to deliver him. Huh? Okay. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 9. But you are he that took me out of the womb. You did make me hope when I was upon my mother's breast. I was cast upon you from the womb. You are my Elohim from my mother's belly. Be not far from me, for trouble is near, for there is none to help.
Right. They took that brother and them young lions, them he-goats, they came and got that brother, and Peter got his hat. Girl say, hey man, when you want to, he was one of them. No, I wasn't. No, I don't even know the man. Yes, you was. You was one of them. The brother started swearing and everything and say, I didn't know the man. And they brought the Messiah by him, and the Messiah looked at him, and Peter bust out and started crying. But he didn't have no more problems to do. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 12. Many bulls have compassed me. Strong bulls of Bashan have beset me round. They gaped upon me with their mouths as a ravening and a roaring lion. I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax. It is melted in the midst of my bowels.
I guess so. That brother was nailed up just like this. But I can count all my bones. I'm poured out like water, all that sweating and everything, right? His blood dripping out his hands and his feet, right? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 15. Last part, verse 14. It is melted in the midst of my bowels. Verse 15. My strength is dried up like a potsherd, and my tongue cleaveth to my jaws, and thou hast brought me into the dust of death. For dogs have compassed me. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet.
Hold up right there now. Hold up right there. Put something in your book. Let's go into Zechariah. Let's go in the book of Zechariah. See what Brother Zechariah had to say about this. See.
Old covenant Israel can't find the Messiah nowhere. Huh?
Of course they can't.
Just can't find him.
They don't want to find him. That's what that is, brother. Give me a second. Just give me a second. Yeah, it is in Zechariah 12, ain't it? Zechariah 12. And pick this up at verse. I want to pick this up so you get the whole idea of what's going on. Pick this up at verse 4. No, pick this up at verse 1. Chapter 12, verse 1.
Zechariah chapter 12, verse 1. The burden of the word of Yahweh for Israel.
This is a burden for Israel now. This ain't a burden for all the rest of the nation. This is a burden for you. For your fathers, right? For you. Go ahead, brother.
says Yahweh, which stretches forth the heavens, and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege, both against Yehudah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it.
He didn't say part of the people, did he? All the nations, right? The new world order. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 4. In that day, says Yahweh, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness, and I will open mine eyes upon the house of Yehudah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. And the governors of Yehudah shall say in their hearts, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength, and Yahweh of hosts, their Elohim.
Right, let's get up into the city of Zion. That's where our strength is. Let us go back up in the Mount Zion, the holy mountain of Yahweh. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 6. In that day will I make the governors of Yehudah like a hearth of fire among the woods, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf. And they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. Yahweh also shall save the tents of Yehudah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Yehudah.
Save Yehudah first? Why you think America's being the first country destroyed? Ain't the house of Judah over here? Benjamin, Judah, and Levi? That was considered the house of Judah because he gave the Levites was already in the land. They had the temple and the suburbs around the area, right? And when he divided up the tribes, he gave Judah one tribe, Benjamin. Paul came out of the tribe of Benjamin. John the Baptist came out of the tribe of Levi, and most of the apostles were Galileans that came out of Judah. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 8. In that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as Elohim, as the angel of Yahweh before them.
The house of David, his whole house, right? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 9. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. And I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplications, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. In that day...
Did we just read? Huh? Did they pierce my hands and my feet? He was the son of David, right? And he said they were going to look upon me whom they pierced. And they asked him, say, what are these wounds in your hands? And what did he say? These are the wounds which I received in the house of my friend. Let's go back to Psalms 22 and pick that up. At verse 21. No, pick it up at verse 17.
17. With 16, right?
Yeah, go ahead, 16.
Psalm 22, verse 16. For dogs have compassed me. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierce my hands and my feet. I may count all my bones. They look and stare upon me. They part my garments among them and cast lots upon my vestments.
They took my garments from me, and then they cast lots to see who was going to get my garment, because it was a robe that was woven from one piece from top to bottom. Right. It was a goodly garment, and they cast lots to see who was going. They gambled to see who was going to get it. Go ahead and read, brother. This brother up there dying for these people, and them niggas down there casting lots to see who's going to get his garment. Yeah. No wonder Yahweh kicked us out the land.
That's right.
When Yahweh sent us holy men, you know what we did? We destroyed them. Right. On Nash they had cut Isaiah in sunder, man. They had when the Arabs came into our city, they had Jeremiah in the dungeon in mud. they had to take some rags and put them together and put around that brother to pull him up out of that mud. Elijah went into the city, and they was looking for him. Elijah had to flee. Elijah went so far, the Spirit went to him and said, Elijah, what you doing here? Angel fed him, and that brother went 6 months without eating. Then the angel said, what you doing here? You supposed to be back down there in Zion, man. Go on and read, man.
Psalm 22, verse 19. But
And
be
as
not...
quiet as it's kept, I've quit this job here a couple of times. And folks that's been in here for a while, they'll tell you, I've quit this job a couple of times. Y'all do it. Y'all getting on my nerves. Yeah, y'all make a nigga lose his religion. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 19. But be not you far from me, O Yahweh. All my strength haste you to help me. Deliver my soul from the sword, my darling from the power of the dog.
Deliver my soul from the sword, but deliver my darling, the children of Israel, from the power of these dogs here. See? Like he said about that woman that came up out of Africa. Say it ain't right to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs. Go on and read, brother.
Verse 21. Save me from the lion's mouth, for you have heard me from the horns of the unicorn. I will declare your name unto my brethren. In the midst of the congregation will I praise you.
Amen.
You that fear Yahweh, praise him. All you the seed of Yaakov, glorify him. And fear him, all you the seed of Israel. For he have not despised nor abhorred the affliction of the afflicted, neither have he hid his face from him. But when he cried unto him, he heard. My praise shall be of you in the great congregation. I will pay my vows before them that fear.
He's going to have to be in that kingdom then, ain't he? That's where the great congregation is going to sit up at, ain't it? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 26. The meek shall eat and be satisfied. They shall praise Yahweh that seek him. Your heart shall live forever. All the ends of the world shall remember and turn unto Yahweh.
Hold up, brother. Okay, read that verse for me again.
Verse 27. All the ends of the world shall remember and turn unto Yahweh, and all the kindreds of the nations shall worship before you.
Praise Yah.
For the kingdom is Yahweh's, and he is the governor among the nations. All they that be fat upon earth shall eat and worship. All they that go down to the dust shall bow before him, and none can keep alive his own soul. A seed shall serve him. It shall be accounted to the Adonai for a generation.
One seed. One seed's going to serve him, and it shall be accounted to the Lord for 1,000 years. Ain't that the millennial period?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, brother.
Last verse 31. They shall come and shall declare his righteousness unto a people that shall be born, that he hath done.
A seed shall serve him for 1,000 years, but the people shall come and declare his righteousness unto the people that shall be born in that kingdom, that he has set up all of this. Now let's see when he's going to show up on the seed. It's going to Daniel 10.
Right, brother.
Link it up. Look it up.
Yeah.
He's on that stick. And he's talking about the children of Israel.
But you have to have the Spirit to understand this. And folks don't know what the Spirit is all about. Yahweh is a Spirit. And he who worship him must worship him in truth and in spirit. Not that you got no little man running around in you. Like it was said, the word's the Spirit. Let's go in the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 9. And pick that up. Daniel had been praying. He wanted to know what's going to happen to his people.
Right.
He was making supplications for his people because the people is doing just like we're doing now what we want to do. Faking it, serving God. See. Now let's see what happened while Daniel was praying. Daniel chapter 9, and pick that up at verse 20. Daniel chapter 9 and verse 20.
And while I was speaking and praying and confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplication before Yahweh my Elohim for the holy mountain of my Elohim, yea, while I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation.
Okay, so it's flying swiftly, so white folks figure everything that fly got wings.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I ain't never read nothing about a male angel in the scripture that had wings. See? I read about 2 females that went to set up an unrighteous church in the land of Shinar, which is Babylon, which is Iraq, right? Okay. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes,
and the
sir.
angel said, this is wickedness.
Right.
Right. Go ahead and read
Verse
it.
22. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give you skill and understanding. At the beginning of your supplication, the commandment came forth, and I am come to show you, for you are greatly beloved. Therefore, understand the matter and consider the vision. 70 weeks are determined upon your people and upon the holy city.
Now it says 70 weeks now. Now, 1 week, these are weeks of years. He says 70 weeks are determined upon your people and upon the holy city. 70 weeks, right? Now we're going to find out that these are 2 different 70 weeks. Okay? He said, number 1, to finish the sin, to finish the transgression, to make an end of sin, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and the prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Told him 7 things was going to happen in that 70-year period, right? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 25. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 69 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times.
So we had a Messiah, the Prince, that was going to come in what? 69 weeks of years, right? 483 years, right? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 26. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself.
Right. He got cut off for the sins of the people. Right. Go ahead, brother.
And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall confirm this covenant with many for 1 week.
He's going to confirm a covenant. 70 weeks of Daniel now. We had 69 weeks before he came, right? He taught 3.5 years, right? Then we had another 3.5 years of great tribulation. Don't that make 70 weeks?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read, brother.
Yes, sir. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease.
In the midst of the week, he was going to cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. Now we got to do a prophecy. We know that the Pope is going to give Esau the authority to sacrifice on what they call a Temple Mount for 3.5 years, for 7 years. And in the midst of the week, he's going to go up there and say, I'm God. Right? When the Messiah died, didn't the animal sacrifice cease? Huh? Okay. And for the overspreading abomination for the people, the land became desolate, didn't it? And it lay desolate. After the 1st century, it lay desolate until the 1300s when the Arabs went in there. And when the Arabs went in there, and then the Israelis went in there in 1948 now. Now remember, he said in verse 25, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem to the Messiah the Prince shall be 69 weeks, right? Okay, let's go into Ezra 7. Go into Ezra chapter 7. Man, where is Ezra? Right, but where's Chronicles? It's behind Chronicles, man. Behind Chronicles and Kings, right?
Right behind Nehemiah.
Okay, Ezra chapter 7, and pick that up at verse 1. Ezra chapter 7, and pick that up at verse 1.
Yes, sir. Now after these things, in the reign of Artaxerxes, king of Persia, Ezra the son of Sariah, the son of Azariel, the son of Hilkiah, the son of Shallum, the son of Zodok, the son of Ahitub, the son of Amariah, the son of Azariel, the son of Mario, the son of Zerahiah, the son of Uzi, the son of Bukai, the son of Abishua, the son of Phinehas, the son of Elasar, the son of Aaron, the chief priest. This Ezra went up from Mesopotamia, and he was a ready scribe in the law of Moshe, which Yahweh Elohim of Israel had given, and the king granted him all his requests according to the hand of Yahweh his Elohim upon him.
Okay, so we know that the commandment went forth. It's dated in your book. And this came from things that was dug up out of the earth by these Euro-Gentiles and put in archives. And what book date you got? 457 BC, right? Okay, it would be the commandment went forth in 457 BC, right? We had 483 years, didn't we? Okay, subtract 457 from subtract 457 from 483 and see the skip. 26, right? In St. Matthew, the year that the Messiah showed up for his baptism, what year was it? Year 26, right? Time came down to 0. Time came from 457 BC down to 0, right? And then up to 26, didn't it? Exactly. And the Messiah showed up on the scene for baptism, didn't he? See? When folks talk about, that's the Messiah over there. See, okay. Believe what you want to believe, but this book don't prove it.
Right.
Okay. Let's go back into where you were, brother, over here in
Romans.
Yeah. We was in the book of Romans. Romans chapter 2. Chapter 6, rather. Yeah. Romans
Yeah,
chapter...
brother, he's all back there. I don't see how brother missed that one.
Well, brother,
He's back there.
folks miss what they want to miss.
Right.
Folks believe what they want to believe, man. A lot of folks don't believe this book. I know some brothers, and you remember the brother we used to go, what that brother name we used to go with that brother? Delaniah. That brother had a Bible and had a black marker, and you know what he did? He went in and marked out what he didn't believe.
Right. That's the way those Rastafari, I met one of those brothers from the island. He had a book, and everything he didn't believe, he etched it out.
Well, the Rastafarians wrote their own doctrine. They tried to claim heirship to the throne of Solomon by an adulterous situation, man. Queen Sheba had a husband.
Right.
And they trying to say she was African. But when you check the spices she brought, and the gold that she brought, and the kind of transportation she used, she came from South Union. That was in Arab territory. As a matter of fact, they had a documentation of when they were doing their genetic search over there in Africa. They had a documentation and went back to they passed Yemen, showed the palace that had been destroyed, and went up to Sina in a city up there, and showed where the people came into from Israel into the land of Africa. In the time of year that those people say they came, it was right on the money, because it's a certain part of the year on that coast of Africa that the current flows south. In the other part of the year, the current flows north. And they came down when it was flowing south, brought them right to the coast of Africa. Romans chapter 6. And brother, pick that up at
5.
verse 5.
Verse 5. For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall be also in the likeness of his resurrection.
Amen.
Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin.
Right. Now you're becoming what? A new creature. Now you're beginning to walk in the righteousness of the law. Why? Because you ain't got nothing to cover your sin no more. Your sin, when you got your baptism, that was coming under the blood, that was for sins that was past. But what you going to do when judgment day comes? Read, brother.
Verse 7. For he that is dead is free from sin. Now, if we be dead with the Anointed One, we believe that we shall also live with him. Knowing that the Anointed One, being raised from the dead, dieth no more, death have no more dominion over him.
Adam was created to live forever.
Right.
He told him, say, you can eat of all these trees. But the day you eat of that tree over there, you're going to die. But see, they wanted to come, didn't understand that they were gods on the earth.
Right.
They were given dominion over the whole earth, see? But they didn't understand that. They knew good. What they wanted to know, they wanted to become as God, knowing what that evil was all about. Right? We the results of it. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 10. For in that he died unto sin once. But in that he liveth unto
In that
Elohim.
he died because of sin once. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 11. Likewise reckon you also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, but alive unto Elohim through Yahshua HaMashiach our Adonai. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that you should obey it in the lust thereof. Neither yield you your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto Elohim, as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto Elohim. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for you are not under the law, but under grace. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? Elohim forbid. Know you not that to whom you yield yourself servants to obey, his servants you are to whom you obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness? But Yah be thanked that you were the servants of sin, but you have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered you. Being then made free from sin, you became the servants of righteousness. I speak after the manner of men because of the infirmity of your flesh. For as you have yielded your members servants to uncleanness, and to iniquity unto iniquity, even so now yield your members servants to righteousness unto holiness. For when you were the servants of sin, you were free from righteousness. What fruit had you then in those things whereof you are now ashamed? For the end of those things is death. But now, being made free from sin and become servants to Elohim, you have your fruit unto holiness, and the end everlasting life. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of Elohim is eternal life through Yahshua HaMashiach our Adonai.
Chapter 5, and verse 6 through verse 21.
For when we were yet without strength, in due time the Anointed One died for the ungodly. For scarcely for a righteous man would one die, yet peradventure for a good man some would even dare to die. But Elohim commended his love toward us, in that while we were yet sinners, the Anointed One died for us. Much more then, being now justified by his blood, we shall be saved from wrath through him.
Did we just read that an angel stood up and said, don't hurt the earth, nor the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads, right? Well, we were saved from wrath then, weren't we? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 10. For if, when we were enemies, we were reconciled to Elohim by the death of his Son, much more being reconciled, we shall be saved by his life. And not only so, but we also join Elohim through our Adonai Yahshua, the Anointed One, by whom we have now received the atonement.
For sins that was past, the master paid your bill for your past sins. What you do from then on, you're going to pay the bill for it. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 12. Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned.
Why? Because of their rebellious nature. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 13. For unto the law sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no law. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moshe, even over them that had not sinned after the similitude of Adam's transgression, who is the figure of him that was to come.
Right, the righteous and the same thing happened to the righteous that happened to the unrighteous. They go the way of the world. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 15. But not as the offense, so also is the free gift. For if through the offense of one many be dead, much more the grace of Elohim and the gift by grace, which is by one man, Yahshua HaMashiach, have abounded unto many.
Mm-hmm.
And not as it was by one that sinned, so is the gift. For the judgment was by one to condemnation. But the free gift is of many offenses unto justification. For if by one man's offense death reigned by one, much more they which receive abundance of grace and of the gift of righteousness shall reign in life by one, Yahshua HaMashiach.
Well, what is the gift of righteousness? Justification. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 18. Therefore, as by the offense of one judgment came upon all men to condemnation, even so by the righteousness of one the free gift came upon all men unto justification of life. For as by one man's disobedience many were made sinners, so by the obedience of one shall many be made righteous. Moreover, the law entered, that the offense might abound. But where sin abounded, grace did much more abound.
Right, he gave them that animal sacrifice so the offense would abound. But where the offense abound, grace did much more abound. We still grew. We still stayed in our land. We were chastened and everything until the propitiation of our sin was sent. Once he came and fulfilled the things that was written of him in that, what happened? We got kicked out the land, didn't we? Mm-hmm. Okay, wasn't no need for us to be there no more. When you came out of the out of Babylon, what did the prophet say? He said, yet in it shall be a tent, and it shall return, and shall be eaten as the teal tree and as the oak. And when they cast forth their leaves, so the holy seed shall be the substance thereof. Read, brother.
Last verse 21. That as sin had reigned unto death, even so might grace reign through righteousness unto eternal life by Yahshua HaMashiach, our Adonai.
Okay, my brother. Let's go into the next piece of scripture we're going to deal with. I think I wrote down too much to deal with today. So I'm going to give y'all some scripture to read when you get home and compare it with the things that you have said. Remember, the title of this story was a love song. Isaiah 42, verse 1 through verse 25. Micah 2, in verse 1 through chapter 5 and verse 15. And Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 10 through verse 21. Matthew 5, in verse 1 through verse 48. And I think we're gonna read the last piece that we're gonna read. The last piece of scripture we're gonna deal with is Psalms 11, in verse 1 through chapter 14 and verse 7. Now, the king and priest of each empire upon the earth issued their own decrees to govern their land and their people, but not according to the righteous ways of Yahweh. In 1948, the Euro Gentile Christians gave our land to the so-called Zionist imposters who tried to live in peace in our land today. But how can the nations live in peace when Yahweh's chosen people remain in the dirt of the bowels of the beast? See, their law code and him setting up a righteous government, that's what Satan don't want to happen on the earth. This is why Satan brought all those empires upon the earth to annihilate our seed. Because once the true Hebrew Israelites return to their homeland, the land of promise and covenants, righteousness and peace will be the stability of the times, and the whole earth will walk in Yahweh's righteous laws, statutes, and judgment, or they will perish. The history left by our fathers and history written by man proves that man has been the destructive force of all things created upon the earth. Even today, the leaders of political Babylon, or the European nation, or the EU and the Christian world are forming an alliance whose purpose is to destroy the whole seed of our people. It was told us in Revelation 12 that when Satan was cast out during the opening of the sixth seal, that he went to make war with the remnant of the woman's seed that brought forth the man-child that was going to rule all nations. We know how he's going to do that through this new world order. But Yahweh is still at work, and he's slowly lifting up the standard of Israel, his chosen people, among the nations. And this is why you've received your calling. But consider this. You've neither heard his voice nor seen his shape at any time. Yet Yahshua, Adonai, has called, chosen, and sent his servants to deliver those written from the conception of the earth, and to save them from the deception and corruptions of the devil, that you may be called the repairers of the breach, the ministers of righteousness, the peacemakers who shall inherit the earth. This is why Lucifer uses the Christians and the Islamics and all the most powerful organizations ever upon the earth to cause the whole of mankind to worship and serve demons and devils. But let us hear the conclusion of this whole matter. Psalms chapter 11 and verse 1 through chapter 14 and verse 7. Psalms chapter 11, and pick that up at verse 1, my brother.
Verse 1. In Yahweh put I my trust. How say you to my soul, flee as a bird to your mountain?
Right. I say to you, my soul, flee as a bird to your own church. Huh? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 2. For lo, the wicked bend their bow, they make ready their arrow upon the string, that they may privily shoot at the upright and heart.
Right. Do it secretly. Don't think so. Walk around in the halls here after church today. Don't read, brother.
Whisperers, huh?
Sure.
Verse 3.
Whisperers and backbiters and evil workers. You got workers, but it's a lot of evil workers around. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 3. If the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do?
Right. If Yahweh takes righteousness and truth and don't take no teachers on the earth, what you going to do? You're going to do just what you were doing before you came here. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 4. Yahweh is in his holy temple. Yahweh's throne is in heaven. His eyes behold, his eyelids try the children of men. Yahweh trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. For the righteous Yahweh loveth righteousness. His countenance does behold the upright. Help, Yahweh, for the godly man ceases, for the faithful fail from among the children of men. They speak vanity, every one with his neighbor, with flattering lips, and with a double heart do they speak.
Tell them kids out there to shut up. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 3. Yahweh shall cut off all flattering lips, and the tongue that speaketh proud things, who have said, with our tongue will we prevail. Our lips are our own. Who is Lord over us?
Right, I do what I want to do. See? We're gonna talk over that. You know why? My thoughts are my own. My hearts are my own. I do what I want to do and believe what I want to believe. I believe this part of the Bible, but I don't believe that part of it. I believe this verse here, but I don't believe that verse over there. Right. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 5. For the oppression of the poor, for the sighing of the needy, now will I arise, says Yahweh. I will set him in safety from him that puffeth at him.
And it's going to be quite a few poor and needy people in this country here by the time we have to get out of here. Just watch. Just what? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 6. The words of Yahweh are pure words, as silver tried in a furnace of earth purified 7 times. Thou shalt keep them, O Yahweh. Thou shalt preserve them from this generation forever. The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted.
Listen to that statement. The wicked walks on every side when the vilest men are exalted. Go ahead, brother.
Psalm 13, verse 1. How long will you forget me, O Yahweh? Forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart daily?
Right. Why, how long you going to let me take my own counsel and then bringing me sorrow every day? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. How long shall mine enemies be exalted over me? Consider and hear me, O Yahweh, my Elohim. Lighten mine eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. Lest mine enemies say, I have prevailed against him. And those that trouble me rejoice when I am moved. But I have trusted in your mercy. My heart shall rejoice in thy salvation. I will sing unto Yahweh, because he hath dealt bountifully with me. Psalm chapter 14, verse 1. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. Yahweh looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek Elohim.
Right. Folks be seeking knowledge and understanding. Not knowing that the principal thing is wisdom. And that wisdom teaches you to do what? Hear the words of the Spirit. How can you deal with the Spirit and don't hear what it says? The Spirit came to people all through Scripture, didn't it? Okay. You want to read, brother?
Yes, sir. Verse 3. They are all gone aside. They are altogether become filthy. There is none that doeth good, no, not one.
Including the priest. The priest is chief sinner because the things you get off into, you know better. You that teach you should not steal, do you steal? You say a man kill, should you kill? For the word of God is blasphemed among the you Gentiles through us, as this is written. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 4. Have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread, and call not upon Yahweh? There were they in great fear, for Elohim is in the generation of the righteous. You have shamed the counsel of the poor, because Yahweh is his refuge. Oh, that the salvation of Israel will come out of Judah. When Yahweh bringeth back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad.
When Yahweh shall bring back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad. Now let me tell y'all something. You believe what you want to believe about it, but the mouth of the prophets has spoken it. Israel cannot return to the land as a nation of people until all this one world order is destroyed. That's when Israel can return to the land. That's why our people that go over there in Israel to try to set up camp, that's why the Israelis caused them the problems they caused them. And now we got a group of people over there now, down there by that nuclear plant down there. Let me tell y'all something. Do y'all know when you read the scriptures, that's the same place that mighty army coming up through there? They're going to be in the way. They're going to be in the way. He already told us, in all the lands, 2 parts going to be cut off and die. But regardless of the things that come upon us, fear not, little flock. Because if we follow our instructions, do the works left by Yahshua HaMashiach, and don't deceive ourselves due to one's own vanities of the flesh, surely you shall be called the pleasant plant, the trees of righteousness, planted by the Holy Spirit, and help our Elohim to cause his people to rest upon the whole creation. Amen, amen, And may Yahweh have mercy on us all.
Hallelujah.